The invasion of Ireland and Norway, referred to as the Hurly-Burly, is an example of Macbeth's fierce loyalty to the crown and to King Duncan. Although Macbeth has always been ambitious, his ambition was directed towards the king, as opposed to later during the play when his loyalties drastically change.
But all's too weak for brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage, till he faced the slave.
The witches addressed Macbeth as Thane of Glamis, Thane of Cawdor, and the King of Scotland. At this point during the play, King Duncan has already named Macbeth as Thane of Cawdor. However, Macbeth is unaware of this. When the witches prophesy that he will become king, they plant an insidious seed of ambition in Macbeth's mind.
All hail, Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis! All hail, Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor! All hail, Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
When King Duncan names Malcolm as the Prince of Cumberland, it makes Macbeth's frustration and desire to be king grow. He is now determined to get rid of anyone in the way of him gaining the throne.
Sons, kingsmen, thanes, and you whose places are nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland.
Lady Macbeth plays a huge role in influencing Macbeth to murder King Duncan. She was also seeking to be the queen, and manipulated Macbeth by claiming that his hesitations are proof of his cowardice. She insists that if he didn't do whatever it took to become king, then he would be breaking a promise to her. Lady Macbeth's domineering influence provided Macbeth with the plan of murdering the king and blaming it on the servants, convincing him that there won't be any negative consequences for them. This is an example of ambition overriding morals.
Thou art feared to be the same in thine own act and valour, as thou art in desire. Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem, the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem? Letting I dare not wait upon, I would, like a poor cat, be aged.
This event marks the beginning of Macbeth's spiral into insanity. He hallucinates an imaginary dagger, and once he realizes it isn't real, he draws the real dagger and ruthlessly kills King Duncan. The imaginary dagger is an example of his descent into moral corruption and madness.
Is this a dagger which I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain?
When Macduff discovers the king's murder, he also finds the servants dead with the king's blood smeared all over their hands. Macbeth tells the thanes that he killed the servants out of his own rage and loyalty to the king. Murdering the servants wasn't a part of the plan that he and Lady Macbeth created. Therefore, this event is when Macbeth begins sporadically and impulsively killing due to the corruption of his morals and his intense hunger for power.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
The expedition of my violent love outrun the pauser reason.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them to show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. All to England.
To Ireland, our separated fortune, shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles, the nearer in blood, the nearer bloody.
The witches prophesied that Banquo's heirs will one day be king, which makes Macbeth feel as though his power will be threatened. He orders his men to kill both Banquo and his son Flance. This event demonstrates how Macbeth's ambition is becoming exceedingly dangerous and taking more innocent lives.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. And very thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons the shard-bored beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
At a gathering with the other thanes of Scotland, Macbeth hallucinates the ghost of Banquo, whom he had just ordered to be killed. Macbeth is clearly confined by fears which intrude on his sanity. The reappearance of Banquo illustrates how Macbeth cannot escape the blood he spilled to keep his grip of power. His ambition is self-destructive.
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
Macbeth is in desperate need of answers as to what exactly his future holds. Therefore, he pays a visit to the witches who present him with 3 apparitions: an armed head, a bloody child, and a crowned child holding a tree.
The apparitions tell him to beware Macduff, that no one born of a woman will kill him, and that he will only be vanquished when the great Birnam Wood comes to fight at Dunsinane. This illustrates the extent to which the witches influence Macbeth's state of mind, as well as contributing to his fatal flaw, overconfidence.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware, Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me enough.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Be lion-mettled proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him.
Macbeth goes to great lengths to rid his kingship of any threats by ordering his soldiers to murder Macduff's family. He is paranoid that his bloody instructions will lead to his death, as others will usurp the throne as he did to Duncan. The mass slaughtering at Macduff's castle exemplifies how cruel and callous Macbeth has become. Like the witches, he causes great torture to the victims, letting them live a life with the torture of a dead family. He has forgotten himself in the bloodshed of his hour.
From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, the castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line.
Macduff is broken over the news, grieving the brutal loss of his wife and children. Malcolm convinces him to convert his grief and anger into a desire for revenge, leading to their efforts to invade and kill Macbeth.
He has no children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, hell kite all? What, all my pretty chickens in that dam at one fell swoop?
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
Macbeth compares his life to a bad actor, describing his life as meaningless and his sense of purpose as empty. His lack of feeling at the news of his wife's death authenticates his irreparable lack of sanity and loss of ambition. He has drowned out all of his morals in a bloodbath that is his kingship.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
During the battle at Dunsinane, Macbeth is assured that his life will last beyond this battle. He does not fear death because the witches have misled him with the apparitions. However, Macduff is the exception since he was born via cesarean, meaning that he was technically not born of a woman. Regardless of all the confidence and promise, Macbeth is killed by Macduff, which ends his time as king.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed, that palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight thee.
How can an individual's choice have efforts beyond him or herself?
The evolution of Macbeth is a cautionary tale illustrating the trail of blood and treachery that follows unchecked ambition. The devastating effects of Macbeth's choices were driven by the intoxicating nature of ambition, which has its origins in the witches' prophecies. Their half-truths plant an insidious seed of ambition in Macbeth, which have effects far beyond the kingship of him and the murder of Duncan. Macbeth, paranoid of his bloody instructions, has fear that someone else will usurp the throne. This causes him to take drastic and deadly measures to rid his kingdom of threats. He exhibits a drastic shift in his relationship with Banquo, determined to do anything to avoid capitulating the throne. He orders the murder of his friend, continuing the bloody trail of murders he has orchestrated, as well as the cruel slaughtering of Macduff's family. Macbeth's dynamic journey emphasizes the duplicitous nature of ambition and the disastrous effects these motivated choices can have on others' lives.